Anything else pre-recorded?
Now we're already rolling.
Boy, it's too late for that.
Yeah.
I'm Jake
It's too late for
Schriner.
that.
I'm Tracey White.
I'm Pastor Johnny Leckie. It is not too late for this, but it is the Compass Conversation podcast. Welcome. Let's get into this thing. Let's do it. Woohoo. We will follow you. You have the name above every name. We will follow you, King Jesus. All right, well, here we are. We are back, and so glad to be back. So good to see you guys here tonight. Bob had a long work thing going on and couldn't be here tonight. But glad that you are back and joining us here on the Compass Conversation podcast. Let's start right over here. Jake, how are you, sir?
I'm good. It's been a couple weeks since we've done this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Bob and I did get together last Monday to save the garden.
Save the garden.
We have
We went well beyond saving the garden.
That's awesome.
we did our best to prevent any rabbits from getting in there at all, and I think we did a pretty good job.
Curse
and
of
things
the
are
were.
looking actually really good too. So we're gonna have a lot of stuff in the early fall. That's gonna be nice. And I know you guys already know this, but for our millions of viewers out there, we
Like
have
and
been
subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
down below. Hit the like button. No, we, as I told you guys, we have been blessed with a second plot. Unfortunately,
Yes.
our neighbor next door, Robin, had to move, so he has left his hard work, and we're there to pick up where he left off, and we get to reap the benefits of it.
So we can just change the name now from Compass Community Garden to the Back 40.
It's getting closer. Absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, it was cool because he had a big portion of it that he hadn't really planted much in there. He's got a lot of other stuff already going. We planted some tomatoes, and we also planted a watermelon plant.
Nice.
So hopefully that takes roots and gets big, and we get some awesome watermelon at the end of the summer. That'd be super cool.
That would be really nice.
Yeah.
It's just such a fun thing that's happened with that.
We got pretty lucky.
Twice the number of plots now.
Yeah, and I think it was just by pure happenstance that, Bob and I happened to be out there when Linda was there, because my guess is she was going to ask whoever she saw first.
Yeah.
Like anywhere in the close proximity to that empty plot, she was just going to be like, "Hey, can you take over?" And
did we fortify his as well?
we did not. We didn't have the stuff to do that.
Some we may have to do.
Maybe we'll see how his goes. He's got a lot of the stuff he has in there. It's been left alone for the most part.
Then why were they eating our stuff?
Because our stuff's great, man.
Because he didn't have broccoli and Brussels sprouts and pepper plants and things like that. He's got a bunch of different types of onions and chives and chamomile and things like that. So yeah, but garden side work's going pretty well. We had a big Sunday yesterday. I think we all sounded really good. And 4th of July. Man, we got some big stuff coming up.
Yeah. There's a lot coming up, man.
Yeah.
Friday.
We're about to get into all
that stuff.
We'll get into that in a moment.
Yeah, but 4th of July will be fun. I think we're going to go down to the in-laws down in Castle Pines and see everybody. So,
Oh, good. Yeah. Tell them we said hello.
Absolutely.
I haven't seen them in a long time. And so I'm glad that the curse of the were-rabbit has now been dealt with.
Hopefully.
You guys ever seen that? Curse of the were-rabbit? You guys
No, never.
Wallace and Gromit?
Oh,
okay.
Sounded like a Goosebumps book or something.
No, it's far more goofy than that. All right, across the table. Tracy, how are you doing, sir?
I am super tired. But I picked up a project right near the end of the day. So I'm good project-wise for the week, which is great. So that's work. We have our own rabbit problems. We did the front yard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, it's looking really good. But you might not know by looking, but off to the other side of the driveway, where we're supposed to have these grasses growing up. Rabbit's been keeping those trimmed for us. And then on the main part of the yard, we have what's called blanket flower. And there's like 6, I want to say, blanket flower plants, 5 or 6. And there's a couple of them that the rabbits just keep eating the flowers.
Oh, wow.
And the other ones are blooming really nice. Man, that front yard is
It does look
good.
Yeah.
I mean, I've
really
back
does.
around and look at it.
It's blooming and everything, so.
Rabbits everywhere.
And so Kathy and I have been working in the backyard a lot, trying to make sure everything is nice and clean for next Sunday.
Yes, and do you need us to come over and help with any of that? I didn't think about that.
I don't know if you took a look. But
I saw it was looking pretty awesome.
I mean, outside here, and
it's looking good.
I was thinking about getting the new gate put on before Sunday, but I think I'm going to hold off on that because the budget's running thin, and I need to buy pickets for the framing's done and it works. But there's other parts that need to be purchased.
So you got the poles out there. That looks good.
Yeah, and the hinges are set and everything. So all we have to do is put. I don't know if you noticed the frames of the gate.
That were sitting on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good.
They're ready to go. They just need to have pickets put on them and then other hardware for keeping them closed. Mm-hmm. And then the little gap fillers on the side because those poles are out a little further. And the intent was to have that be able to fold in and out, but because the distance that the hinge is off the poles, it won't go fully one way and the other.
Oh, I see.
So we have it fully folding in, and it can partially, evenly fold out if we wanted it to. So for whatever reason.
Well, this is going to be great, man. Yeah. And again, as always, thank you so much.
Yeah.
You and Kathy hosting this grand event. I know it's a lot of extra for you.
No, and then
it's always so beautiful though.
We're real lucky to have blessed to have this studio to do stuff like this in.
Yes,
and
this
our
too,
rehearsal
yes.
and everything.
Yep.
But oh my goodness, it's getting hot, and you can't feel it, but it is oppressively hot in here right now. To me, funny. At least, and. But
I'm okay.
We were moving around a lot.
It's true, yes.
Setup.
I'm thinking back to the one we did where we were shivering. Remember? Because we had
I know. I need to get this unit fixed in here. But
well, it's been great regardless. We'll just act like this is our summer tree house.
If you're an HVAC tech and have some spare 410A, bring it on over. And a vacuum pump.
You know what? There is a guy I know. Yeah. I don't know if he watches this podcast or not, but Jason, if you're still out there and listening, man, contact me. Because he is.
Family and friends discount?
Anyway. All right.
Because it's, luckily in the other room where I work every day, and that one's working just fine.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Cool in
Not burn up during the day.
Oh, my goodness. I'd have to move it back into the house if that was the case. And Harper's loud and obnoxious. You know that.
I know.
No, I'm kidding. She's a doll. But my dogs, on the other hand. So, that's pretty much it. Johnny? How about you? Tell us about everything that's been going on. You've been real busy.
I have been busy. This is sort of like the calm sandwich week, in just the inner part right here.
Yeah.
Right, so last Sunday, right after the service, we hopped in the car, took off cross country. And I just got to say, here's something that's interesting about this. The bottom line on this is that we were taking our old car to my son in Philadelphia because it just seemed to be running a little better than what they were currently running. And so they were excited about getting it, but and then we picked up a new to us car from Leona's dad. So a couple of things about this. One, this car, the old white car I've been driving forever, I don't know if you guys all know this, but that's a car I inherited from my mom when she passed away. And the story goes that I was down there visiting one time, and she wanted me to take her to the store. And at the time, I was driving a real bucket of bolts. You kind of where you drive it, it's just loud, But it was fine, no problem. I just had gotten used to that. And when I got into her car to drive, I was like, oh, this is great. And she goes, oh, hope you don't mind my old car. What are you talking about? This car is fantastic, Mom. I love this car. What are you talking about? And anyway, I don't think it got stuck in her head or she read it wrong or something. I don't know. But when I was there for the funeral, they all informed me, my sisters-in-law, all of them. They said, what we know for certain, it isn't in the will, it isn't anything like that, but I heard her very clearly say, if anything ever happens to me, give this car to Johnny.
There you go.
And we got that right. That happened right after we moved to Colorado. So there's a lot of emotion kind of tied up in that old janky car I've been driving forever. You know, you guys are going, why are you still driving that thing? Well, that's why. I think of my mom every time I got in it, and how happy she would have been to have been blessing us, and it was a major blessing.
Yeah.
So what's cool about it is that I'm giving it to my son. So he's like, yeah, grandma's car, right? So it was sort of the final journey for me.
Yeah. And
in a way to almost one last time say, goodbye to my mom. So, and a thank you, Psych God, if you can get a message to my mom. Tell her it's been awesome. Yeah. So anyway, so when we got to Tennessee to buy the car, I mean, we were spending a lot of money on the other car, but we were ready to buy this car, and we walked in. We were tired already because I had gotten behind a car wreck on the way. I mean, a car totally turned upside down, another in the ditch. Fortunately, nobody died. I don't know how they didn't, but we were held up for a good hour or so on the highway, just sitting there. And so we got there much later than we thought. So we were tired when we walked in, and first thing that Leona's dad said was, "Well, I decided not to sell you this car." We're like, "Oh, what?" Here, let's explain. He had a little note, and it just said, "God has blessed me. He told me to just give it to you."
Oh,
we're like,
nice.
"What?
Yes.
Come on!"
That's awesome.
That was a fantastic kind of weird reciprocal blessing and all of that. So the car we have, I'm looking at it, okay, it needs a paint job. It needs a few things. Runs fantastically. We really, really like it. But yeah, I can afford to do that with it now. I'm not no complaints about this cool new car. So anyway, so I dropped him off in Tennessee. I spent 10 hours driving the next day to Philadelphia. I spent a day with my grandkids and everything, and that was great. And then flew to Nashville. Leona met me there. We had a lot of rigmarole trying to find each other. And I'm not sure what was happening. It's again, something's with her phone, and I was calling her. There was no answer. It was nothing, back and forth. Anyway, finally we got together and drove on. Although, this is the last thing I'll say, because this is all just anecdotal storytelling now.
That's all right.
But on the way to Kansas City, Missouri, which is where we spent the night, the Google Maps. Google Maps.
We know you're listening.
We know you're listening. Anyway, somewhere it was getting kind of late as we were coming in because we still had another 8 hours to drive. So I got off a plane, into a car, and drove for 8 hours. Mm-hmm. So, it was kind of fun, though. I mean, I remember my brother-in-law was saying, I think what's going to happen is there's two of you guys here. When you get to the end of this trip, you're going to think, we're way too old to be doing this kind of stuff. But that is not what happened at all. It was just it was a blast to me. But anyhow, under the bridge, there's this situation where a ramp goes this way, then one goes this way, and then something this way, and it said, go straight. It was that kind of thing. And I'm like, did it say, which one? There are cars behind us. Like, under, and now I'm under. And oh my, was that the wrong way. Because it was like, it's like all of those movies where you're suddenly in the ghetto and the people standing around with it. And we were driving around like under the bridge, graffiti and all. It was sort of like the back alleys of Kansas City, Missouri. But after all of that, and then, I know how goofy that sounds, but it took us all over the place before we finally got on track. But anyhow, we made it back and made it back in time to get ready for Big Sunday. So there's a good transition. So here we are. Let's talk about the weekend. Let's talk about all the stuff going on. And we started to a little bit there.
Big Sunday.
Big Sunday.
Nice new setup. It was really cool. I enjoyed that.
I was curious what you guys thought of that. What did you
guys think?
I like the setup. We're using more of the space than we had previously. So like the old setup we had, you walk in and you're in a big room, but the way we had set up, it still felt
a little small.
A little smaller, yeah. So
because the ceiling probably.
Yeah, you just there's a lot behind the curtain that you can't see.
Yeah, in the gym. You're talking about in the gym.
Yeah, in the gym. Like when we've been in the gym, which is I don't know how many months it's been since we've been there, but
it's been a while for sure.
So the new setup. I liked it. There's a lot more space. You felt more open. I liked that we weren't rubbing shoulders necessarily with everybody up in the band and stuff. So
Now I'll tell you the thinking that we had behind that is that because we knew we were a bit of a smaller group, we didn't want it to feel like you walked into this giant arena and there's a person here and a person.
Right.
That was the original thinking on that. But I've come full circle now to thinking, you know what? The idea behind Big Sunday, this is pre your first visit, but the original idea behind the Big Sunday was this is a big deal that we're going to, this is the day to invite people to. It's going to be a bigger setup, bigger sound, bigger everything. And I just thought, maybe I'm not displaying much faith here, because I've always envisioned that if we were in the gym, that eventually it would open up and that's where we would be.
Right.
And so even now it has sort of the walls, but I mean I could see those walls going like this, and we start adding chairs and filling that room up. And I just wanted to recast that kind of, I could see how this could be a much bigger thing. So so I'm going to begin trying to emphasize Big Sunday as a big invite people to as much as you can. Even if they say no, that's the day to remind us, I need to invite somebody to a Big Sunday. So anyway, that was the thinking. And I love the way it felt and looked in there too.
It's a good idea.
We can't fit all million of you, but
come on,
come on. 100.
This is the time, my friends.
Yeah.
We're on the move right now. That's the thing. We're there's all kinds of stuff. It is summer, but we're not a static church at the moment. We're busy.
Now it's like different every week. It's great.
It is different every week.
Speaking of different, coming up,
yes,
is going to be in the backyard here because it's church in the park.
Yes,
but the park's across the street. So, but
it's on the green.
It's sort of the flagship. It's the flagship church in the park.
Yeah.
It's the big one.
It's the one with the full band, anyway. So
I do like the next Sunday's setup. It's probably one of my favorite services all year because of our setup outside. It's awesome, and it's kind of got this sort of natural amphitheater type thing built in because we're on the back patio, and that's much higher up than the park, so you can see over the fence at all the people. I mean, our sound is carrying, and there are so many people that are going to hear us. And I think it's an awesome way for us to do that.
And it's like your patio. It was like it was built to be a stage. It's just that's how it's set up.
It used to be lawn up there, right? And we had that concrete poured up there.
Oh, okay.
And never thought.
I never even think of it like that.
No, but I was like, that's why. That's a really good thing. So.
Jake, back in the day too, we actually did church on the green more than once. We did it like in the summer, and then we did it near the end of the summer, and then we did it one last time in the fall.
Okay.
But one of those times, out of the blue, it was a little frosty feeling.
For sure.
So everybody was sitting out huddled by the little fire in the gazebo.
Right.
I thought, you know what? Maybe we'll just make this a special thing in the summer. Anyway, it's going to be fun. I also like that we're going to be at the park this Friday.
Yep.
Priming the pump for that a little bit, and hopefully meeting some people and handing out balloons, and of course just hanging out and being together. That's really the biggest thing about that.
Happy salmon.
Maybe some happy salmon.
With some frisbee and some football.
Yeah, we'll throw the football around. Throw the frisbee around.
Yeah, and I found I have a junior size football. I forgot about. I have it sitting in my office.
I have a brand new pump. So if we needed to blow up one of the balls,
Okay, cool. It's better than my broken one.
I don't want you inhaling anymore. The football.
Oh goodness.
Inner air or whatever that is.
I didn't know you could do that. Well, I mean,
wow, I'm impressed that you did that.
Yeah. Until you pass out.
Right. Yeah.
So anyhow, for those of you who don't know, here's what you need to do. You need to go to compassdenver.com and click on Compass Summer. Click on that page, and it's showing all the things that we've been doing and are doing. Well, it doesn't show what we were doing because I've been bumping up the latest thing to the top of the page. I'm wondering if I should have done that or not. But I think it's easier, faster.
Yeah, you just
go,
see what's coming up. You don't want to, show all the people all the fun things they've missed.
Maybe I do. Maybe I should have made a legacy page of that. Yeah. See what we've done, and you click on the other. That's probably what I should. That would have been very easy to do. It's too late now. I deleted all those. Anyhow,
I just put it back.
So Friday, we're doing a hangout at the park. That's right across the street here.
Yep.
All the things we were just talking about, playing games, chilling out, hanging out after work kind of thing, or after golf.
I will work
kind of
after golf. What's funny about that, and Bob will appreciate this, is my buddy hit me up about it. And so Colette's working that day. So, I don't know, maybe my in-laws will watch Harper. But yeah, so I'll have work, potentially golf, hanging out at the park, and then later, maybe around a D&D. It's going to be a full day for me. I'm excited.
We play every other Wednesday.
I know you guys play here, yeah. My buddy that throws the Viking party at his house, he wants to throw, and he has this he keeps his Viking tent set up at his backyard all year round because it's too much hassle to take it down. So the inside has shields and furs on the walls, and there's a big fire in the middle. We're going to play D&D.
Oh, come on.
It's going to be cool.
I like that.
That might be a better deal.
So yeah, Friday's going to be a very exciting day for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm hoping you're okay on Sunday.
I'll be good.
You'll be there.
I'll be ready because I'm not working Saturday, so I can. I'll get a full day of rest.
So what that does, though, is it eliminates the need to set up everything for a big Sunday on Saturday.
That is true.
But it adds it
on
first
Sunday.
thing on Sunday morning. So we got to set up and
that's where we get a taste of what thousands of church plants across America do, where they have to come in, they unload a truck or whatever, and set up at 5 in the morning to get ready for their 11 o'clock service. Yeah, and you're welcome, by the way. We don't do that. Yes. Okay, so
we'd do it anyway.
Yeah, it was worth it for sure. But I was just thinking about how crazy the setup and teardown was going on that day, and I was thinking, I am kind of glad this is a special thing we do once a month.
Did we have a podcast since our last movie night?
I don't think so.
Because that went pretty well.
That was
as well.
2 Fridays ago?
Well, we just ended up being on Saturday.
Yeah,
Saturday.
Which is the rain. It rained out.
I think it did hurt us on the
a little
attendance
bit,
level.
but there was still, a good amount of people there, and we had a good time, and the movie was funny.
And the movie was funny.
It was funny.
The next one's going to be funny as well.
Yeah.
Which is Cage them.
The next one.
The puns.
So funny.
The name puns.
That's a perfect summer movie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, so there were a number of people who said, I never got around to seeing this one. And so that was one that
I had never seen it before.
There were a number of people who hadn't seen it.
You need to watch it all the way through, though, because
I
missed.
I did too. I missed a lot of it for sure. Yeah. But the one that's coming up is Muppet Treasure Island. Okay, so it'll be our first non-animated movie that we've shown.
But it's puppets. So
perfect summer movie, though, huh?
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope everybody loves it. I will say the setup was beautiful, and even the campus security guy who came by, that was his first comment. So I don't know if you even saw that.
Was that the guy you were talking to?
Dude.
Yeah.
He was awesome, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this is great what you're doing here." He said, "This is beautiful, man." He's like, awesome. He'd never seen a screen like that before.
One of my favorite things about him being there, and this is kudos to the Aurora Police Department. And what was the officer's name?
Nicholas.
Nick. There was this young lady that came up to him and wanted her picture with him.
Oh, right. Yes.
And he posed for a picture with her, and then he was like, "Hey, you want to go check out the car?"
Yes, that's right.
That's cool. And, they did the lights and everything, not the siren, but the lights.
He let her sit but by the wheel like she was driving.
That was really cool. I love it when our our public service people do fun stuff like that.
Yeah, it was good
with the community. Yeah,
and he was nothing but positive about everything. So that was always cool. I always do that too. I mean, we do a lot of events where Aurora Police just suddenly drive up.
Yeah.
And I always meet them quickly, right?
Yeah. But they're really good.
They've been awesome, yeah. They're usually always very encouraging.
Maybe we'll see them Sunday morning.
Hey! We might!
Can y'all turn that down a little?
They might not be as
after
encouraging.
2 more songs.
2 more songs.
We're almost done. We may do a few more than we usually do this Sunday.
We should have a decibel meter out there saying,
to show, we're okay.
No, we're good.
Yeah.
It won't be, but
it'll be.
I don't think it's too obnoxious at the park.
No.
we're not in the park. We're actually in a private residence.
That's right, with really wonderful neighbors.
Yeah, if you give them a little heads up, maybe.
They know.
Okay. Then I don't feel as bad about making some noise. But yeah, so Sunday we'll probably do our normal set. Then I'm going to speak, and I'm not going to speak long. I'm just saying it now. I'll let you figure out what long is. Well,
that's subjective.
I'm not going to speak for an hour. No, anyway, I'm going to try really hard to keep it pretty short.
Yeah.
Take a break, get some hot dogs, and then come back up and do another set.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be here way too long because you've got a trip to make. I've got one the next morning.
We'll be ready for it. That's what we're doing on Saturdays, getting ready for our trip on Sunday.
Okay. So anyway, so we may make noise, stop, and make some more noise. So
sure.
It's just what everybody's up to. So we'll work on some of that.
That's a good idea.
It might be toasty because the sun will be directly on that.
That's right, especially at that time.
Oh yeah.
So I learned that on Church on the Green that one time because one time I was there and I had my notes and the pages kept flying off. It became almost comedy. And at one point I just started throwing them in. And just like, all right, I know this message anyway, so here we go. But so I thought, next time I'm going to put this on my iPad. Then they're not going to be blowing around.
Oh yeah.
But I had the iPad and the sun was on it and it overheated and wouldn't turn on.
Turn on, yeah.
It's like, really? So I think the happy medium is that now when we're outdoors like that, I put my message notes printed into the same covers that I use for the music.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I have clips and things that just all over the place. That seems to work much better. All right, a little behind the scenes, nuts and bolts. But yeah, so that was looking back. That's looking into this next week, and then there's a short little break. I'm going on a cruise.
Yay!
Yeah. I'll be like Tracey, and and come back. Who knows?
Who knows when?
Tracy's as excited as you guys.
I know.
Yes.
So everybody who goes on cruises are very excited for us to go on this cruise.
Well, yeah, I mean, because it's something that Kathy and I love to do, and we're going to get you on Colette on
eventually. I know.
But it, somewhere, it just in the back of my brain that opens up this possibility of, if you like it, maybe we can go together.
I've thought of this. I have thought of this very thing
because that's a lot of fun.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
We've only gone on one cruise two cruises with people that we know. And I just love having that extra company there.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Great. So it'd be fun to go.
That is a strong point. I can't make any promises. I may come back and go, yep, no. I get it, but
it was not for me.
Yeah, I was throwing up full time. I don't think so. I think we're going to have a great time.
My bit of advice is if your first one doesn't go that great, try a second one. If it doesn't go great, then be because some things go wrong.
Okay.
We've never had a bad
one. But I have thought of everything. That might be a fun thing to do.
Yeah, I think it'd be great.
On a cruise.
Saying.
We'll be on one side of the ship. On the other.
Have you seen the? There's like packages and stuff where people like live on cruise ships year round.
Yes, I saw.
Oh yeah.
I can't imagine that. Man.
Definitely have.
I mean.
Really?
Like doing the math, that would equate to like my mortgage. So it's like, okay, well,
but that's per person. Right? There is this.
I guess you're working from. Well,
you can
if you're working remotely, or if you're like retired.
If you're retired, your income is high enough. Yeah. But there was a 3-year cruise.
That's 3
years, and it cost $90,000.
Wow.
For 3 years, so $30,000 a year, but it's per person.
Oh.
So that can get a little steep, especially my retirement income wouldn't handle that. But if you're teleworking and with a good
if you find a way to have income while you're doing
it,
you could play on the ship.
That would be fun.
You'd be in the ship, man, dude. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do that. They'd pay you. It'd be free.
I'd do it. I would totally do it.
Oh, man. That'd be our Compass sea location.
I would love it. Love it.
Church on the Sea.
Church on the Sea.
Church on the Sea. I don't think they do a praise band on the ships.
I don't think so.
There is a chapel on most ships
right?
that we've been on, at least. Yeah, there is a chapel. So
Very cool.
They usually do like weddings there, but
Well, I'll set up a little shop in the corner. All right, just horsing around now. All right, so what else?
with our limited time.
Middle of summer, yeah, we're at the end anyway.
We've been going for about 20 minutes, a little over 20 minutes.
Okay. What else, though? Is there anything else stand out to you? There's been just a lot going on, and I knew that we were going to have a very kind of, for a church our size, we do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yes, we do.
Well, we need to, and I think most churches should, and trying to keep it. You know, I always am praying through, Lord, I don't want us to get into any ruts either. Mm-hmm. We've already established traditions, right? Mm-hmm. We have our kind of stuff we do, at certain times of the year. Yeah. And they're good, though, right? So tradition's not bad. It's just when you get stuck in your tradition too much.
Well, seminary kind of have to, because Glow and Go, which is on Halloween.
Well, yeah.
It's on Halloween.
It happens every Halloween, doesn't it?
Our Christmas caroling that we do.
But see, here's the thing. Halloween, but here's the thing. Okay, all right. Okay, behind the scenes. Check out the fall.
Are we going into the fall now?
We are.
Oh, boy.
The thing is, we could still do our big Halloween thing, but if there are enough of us in teams, we could do it there and in places. In smaller settings,
have to buy more lights.
Neighborhoods. Well, I mean, like it could be in a park. It could be in a neighborhood. It could be, we're doing the same thing on that night, and we have different teams doing in different just locations all over, and we just begin to be known for not just that one spot, but other places.
As long as we're still doing that one spot, because we are known.
Yeah, that would be, again,
a lot of people.
Flagship spot right there.
Yeah, definitely.
And it looks cool, too.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I think your addition of the lights is it's a pain, I know, to set up. But
it's a lot of work, but it's fun, yeah.
We're talking about Halloween. Okay.
That's a couple months off.
That's
3 months.
I mean, we're only 6 months out from Christmas.
Is that all?
At this point?
Oh, we've got the middle of the year coming up, right? Like the dead middle of the year in like a couple of days or something? Or did we already do that?
The longest day?
Well, today's the exact halfway point to Christmas, so like 3 days from now would be exactly the middle of the year.
Oh, well, Merry Christmas, guys.
Hey,
I'm just going to say it now.
Almost Christmas.
We always say, I wish we had this spirit throughout the year.
Well, Kathy does. She sings Christmas songs all the time.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that happy note, I think that it's time to go ahead and shut this thing down. Any final words before we go to final words?
No, just... I brought up the Bible app.
So,
if you wanted to talk about the lesson, it was Mark, watch it.
That's right. We didn't even talk about that.
But that's okay. I did want to mention Proverbs. It's so, it's the kind of book that you don't really get into and study all the time, right?
Right.
At least I don't, right? So it's been a while since I've read through Proverbs, but you often have a verse or two out of Proverbs, in your normal lessons, which is great because a lot of good wisdom, a lot of good advice out of there. So reading all of it, it's entertaining. It really is because just because the way some things are worded and I like to tease Josh with that stuff.
Oh, good.
Listen to my words of wisdom, my son.
Good.
Stay on the path. But and then you start reading these pearls of wisdom, and it's like that's really good to remember there. Mm-hmm. Or some things that it brings up, about how the foolish act.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, this was written like thousands of years ago. Mm-hmm. And they're talking about today.
They're still acting that way.
Still applicable. Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah. Like 100%. So anyway,
I am excited about the messages that I will be doing out of Proverbs. And I just thought, as I was praying through the summer series and that kind of thing, it's very, very hard to do a verse by verse through Proverbs unless you're doing a very long series, right?
Yeah.
And just because each one's like a mini message almost.
Right.
So that's why I wanted us as a church to be going through it, reading it together, commenting if you want, but just all of us just going through Proverbs. That way you're at least reading the whole book. Mm-hmm. And I'm pulling out portions of it to focus on this summer. But what's great about that, I can do the same thing next summer.
Yeah.
And the summer after. Think of a tradition. But yes, but we were in the Gospel of Mark again on Sunday, and that was like I was talking to Tracey earlier, and it was sort of a tonal shift from what we've been doing. It is a little bit heavy. I don't know why I keep doing this tonight. It's a little heavy. It's a little bit heavy. I'm thinking about the Muppets.
Still points out the disciples don't quite get it.
Unbelievably.
Yeah, so we're gonna go to die and everything. But can we ask you a question? We're gonna ask you a question. Can I sit on the right and him on the left? We're gonna ask something. Yeah, ask that.
Oh, those guys, man.
Yeah, I know we get all that. Can I sit on the right and him on the left? Is that?
We're just getting into that portion of the Gospel of Mark, where he is driving towards Jerusalem. Now, it looks like and sounds like in that chapter, they're there in the next day, and then the crucifixion's happening. But there's still more in Mark, anyway, before we get to all of that, too. So, but it was a bit of a shift, I think, in tone. Yeah. But it is important, so we've got a good balance of Scripture and stuff going on right now. So.
Absolutely.
Who knows what God is going to do through you and through our families and those of us who are praying for our city and praying for our church. I'm very much looking forward to what God's going to do. Yep. So, anyway, any comments about any of that before we shut this down fully?
We are missing one thing.
Yeah, let's hear it.
John 3:16.
What does that say?
For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life.
Amen to that. Thank you, Jake, and we hope that you hear those words. They are certainly our heart to you tonight. A reminder of God's love for us. Thanks for keeping us on track with that. John 3:16. Read it again, and read it again, think on it, and all of those kinds of admonitions I give you tonight. I could even say exhortation. Using all of the redeemed exhortation. All the churchy words are lately. It's so funny. Oh, well. All right. Well, hey, you know what? We meet somewhere in the world every week, but usually 99% of the time we're online as well. And you can find us on Facebook by searching Compass Church Colorado, and you can discover more at compassdenver.com. All right, that's final word time.
Love you guys. Bob, love you too. Love everyone else out there.
For Bob, likewise. And this has been great.
This has been great. Grace to you and peace. That's all we have for tonight, and we are out.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.